Hi everyone, I'm April.
And I'm Dennis.
And we're the inventors of the Undress, as you probably know by now. And we actually wanted to take some time to share with you the differences and upgrades we've made from our original version to our new version. And we've actually built this dress with the input of thousands of surveys and conversations and responses that we've had with all of you as you've used the dress and told us how you would want it to be better and what kind of improvements you'd like to see.
Yeah, so basically we're just kind of the epitome of building a product with the community. This company was built from the community, and we want to continue to build it through the community. So this is a example of what can happen when you listen to your customers and just take all the feedback and turn it into something. So what's next to me is the version 1 dress. This is the 1.0 version of the dress. This was the dress that was originally sent in the original Kickstarter that was campaigning in 2014. So we're going to use this as an example. We have improved this dress with several iterations, and the ones that are currently on our site do have improvements. But to have compare apples to apples, we want to show the Kickstarter dress that we originally had before and the new Kickstarter dress that we are now campaigning right now. So
yeah, so we're going to go through the major changes, and the first most noticeable change is the new fabric. We actually have 3 different new fabric options, and we're going to be highlighting the athletic fabric, which is here. And what's awesome about this fabric is that it's antimicrobial and sweat wicking, so it's really great for using after a workout. A lot of you guys mentioned that when you're sweaty, it was kind of hard to use this type of fabric, and so we decided to upgrade it to an awesome athletic one.
yeah, I mean, immediately when you touch this dress, you'll know, like when you put it in your hands, like how far we've really come.
Yeah.
We were wanting to build a dress that could compete at like a high level with some of those other athletic brands, and we believe we absolutely do have that. I mean, that's the fabric alone. When you touch it, you'll know.
Yeah, and then what's awesome about this is that it's a lot more lightweight compared to this one.
Yeah.
So anytime you're trying to take it camping or on trails or anything like that, it definitely feels a lot lighter.
Yeah, a lot of you have asked to make this dress more packable, easier to bring in luggage for travel or put in a backpack, and we did that. This dress is less than half the weight of this dress.
Yeah.
And it's actually probably more than that. Probably we're closer to 60% of the weight.
Yeah.
Without being see-through. So,
And also, this dress resists pilling and is way better in terms of resisting wrinkling.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, we literally pulled that dress out of the gear bag. We stuff them in a gear bag, all the version 2 sport undresses. They come out amazing in this fabric.
Yeah.
And so we think that you ladies will absolutely enjoy that. Pulling it out of your gear bag, most likely it's gonna look like that. We didn't even steam it. We actually had to steam this dress. You probably already know.
Yeah.
It does wrinkle. So that just so much more convenient for being active.
Yeah, and then this version is still machine washable and dryer friendly, so it's easy to take care of it too.
Yep.
And then another major change, as you can see, is the length of the dress. I would say the biggest feedback that we got, aside from the dress being heavy, is that it was either too long or too short. So to solve that problem, we decided to make it mid-calf length, so that way there was a lot more room and could accommodate a lot more women in terms of different heights.
Yeah, and you don't lose anything in coverage, believe it or not. Some people think, well, you need more fabric down here in a longer dress to cover you more when you're changing. But if you think about it, you really don't, and that's why we shortened it. Because when you pull your hands up and you're putting on your pants, you're covering yourself as you pull up. When you're pulling down to pull down your pants, it's just keeping you covered as you pull down your pants. So you really don't need, all this length necessarily. For some women, they still feel more comfortable that way, but in general, the coverage is the exact same amount of coverage that you'd have if you were using the towel that you probably were using before the undress anyway. So when you wrap it around you, it falls around here. And if you're using a towel, might as well be using the undress instead.
Yeah. And another big change in terms of the style of the dress is, as you can see, this was a lot bigger in the bottom in the skirt.
Yeah.
And so we initially were thinking we wanted more fabric so there would be more coverage and more room to change, but in reality we realized you don't need to have that much extra fabric.
Yeah, you let us know. So after you guys are using it, you guys are telling us that, you know, for some of you are like, there's too much fabric here, it's kind of hard to work around. And so we did reduce the sweep of this fabric, and it allows you to streamline your changes a lot easier when it's actually smaller. So in some weird way, it became less is more with the Undress. So
yeah, and then another difference in this bottom portion of the dress is that we added slits.
Yep.
Since it is more narrow, we decided to add slits so it would have a little bit easier movement, and also to add just like a sporty style element to it.
Yeah, so you don't have to sacrifice mobility for having less fabric. So yeah, so the performance slits are really awesome.
Yep, and again, having the dress a lot shorter also makes it easier to pack and lighter weight, which is really good.
Yeah, this dress packs a lot smaller than this dress did. So I think a lot of you that do pack it, put it in your trunk, put it in your gear bag and whatnot will definitely appreciate that.
Yes, and again, the dress is still packable. We'll go into some of those other changes later on. But first, we can talk about a major upgrade is the strapping. So one of the issues that we came across in the first dress is that it would wrinkle over time. And what's really awesome about the new fabric here is that it's a lot sturdier and still is really great for laying flat, and still functions really well for pulling up underneath all your layers.
Yep, and it's more comfortable too.
Yes.
It's kind of a, and we're still working on, this is the prototype, so we're still working on the fit, but these were made with what we call cotton lawn, and it's not that it's cheap. People thought maybe this is cheap strapping. It wasn't. It was made we did this for a reason, and we ended up realizing that there's a better way to do it, and for some reason it took almost a year to figure that out. And so what we did is we have fabric that now is like thicker, more comfortable, especially around the collarbone, like you ladies have been asking for, and just sits better on the body and on the dress itself. So it just looks better constructed. We're really happy with it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that I think is a major improvement, both visually and also wearability.
Yes, and an awesome new upgrade is that we have a new soft handle. So one major feedback point that we got is that sometimes the handle would either feel a little too bulky or just some women weren't crazy about it. So we decided to redesign it, and it's now integrated into the strap. So it seamlessly matches all the dresses and is comfortable too, because it's very flexible.
So there is a plastic piece inside that the soft handle. So it's not just a piece of fabric. So it still functions the same when you have to draw the strap up through and under your sports bra, but without having to worry about this piece, take it off in the dryer or washer. You throw it right in, and it's dryer washer friendly. And you don't feel it against your back. It's a lot more convenient.
Yes, and also we eliminated the hook because since the dress is short, you actually don't need the hook to shorten it anymore. So if anyone's wondering why it doesn't have a hook, that's why. And another upgrade we did,
a major one,
is the side access openings now have zippers. So this is really awesome. They're actually hidden zippers. So when you zip it up, you can barely even see, other than the little pull, that it's an opening.
We also improved the pocket, so the pocket has a little bit more structure to it, so it's less, I guess, floppy, as well as less bulky. We reduced the amount of fabric that was required inside the pocket by having a better construction, so it's almost half the weight. And that weight, some people were talking about, they can feel in the dress, so we reduced that. So just this dress alone, the weight makes a difference, just the actual weight, but the weight wears on you and how it holds up on your body versus this first one makes it feel even lighter, because it's actually because of the way that all the things are constructed and how it lays on the body.
Yeah. So another upgrade that we made is to redesign the labels. Some feedback that we got is that the women wanted us to have labels that were more subtle. So we actually did reduce them in size on the front and the back. And we also eliminated the 2 labels that were here. And so now the labels are just more streamlined and modern, and kind of are similar to what you'd see in athletic wear in terms of the shape and the size.
So we made construction improvements throughout the dress in multiple points that we learned from this first dress and all the feedback that we got. Wanting to make sure that for future production that we eliminate any of those potential weak points in the dress, since you do kind of like use it a lot, and you know, we want to make sure that it's as tough a dress that's as tough as you are. So we did do that in this dress.
Yes, and then we actually have 2 new functionalities for the new version of the Undress.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, and you can see how it works in our Kickstarter video. But the first one I can talk about a little bit is actually being able to use the Undress Sport as a skirt. So it's really cool. Anytime you're in a situation where you only want to use your bottoms, or say you only want to wear it as a skirt, you can actually do that really easily. And what's really cool is that the same pockets that you can use to pack the dress then now become little pockets where you can put your stuff in and then just kind of be on the go with it.
Yeah, it's totally functional. So one of the things we did, if you can take a look here at the neck line, we went straight across instead of rounded. And what that allows us to do is give you those 2 new functionalities. It makes them work. So being able to skirt this is easier. And then the second functionality, which you'll talk about and why we designed it with a straight cut, is way more evident in the second functionality, right? Which is?
So the second function is being able to wear it strapless. So a lot of women asked if there was any way that we can increase the coverage up top, say if you wanted to wear the dress without a bra. So a new option that we made is that you can actually lift the dress up, fold it over, pull the straps over and behind you, and you can actually convert it into a strapless dress. And so what was initially 3 layers of coverage that already is here up top turns into 6 layers. And so especially when you're wanting to get somewhere quickly, it's a really great option. And one thing I did want to point out though is that you may just want to experiment with what works best for you and your body type in terms of wearing it strapless. What I recommend is lifting the dress up higher before you fold it over and cinch it. It can kind of help with keeping the dress more cinched in case you're worried about it moving around at all. And another great thing though is that the elastic in the back of the dress is a lot more fitted now, and so that also helps to hold it up.
Yeah, and I gotta reiterate that whole, so a lot of you that have been using the Undress, the original version, have had to loop this in order to keep the back of the dress up. So what we did is we made sure that this and the construction around this point, the dress holds itself up. So, you know, it's a lot more comfortable. Thank you so much for all your contribution to this, and we hope this makes you proud. Really, at the end of the day, like, we worked so hard for months and months and months. Endless hours of traveling to Los Angeles and working with designers and whatnot to give you what we believe you asked for. So hopefully we did good.
Yeah, so thank you again for reaching out to us and letting us know what you wanted. And we're so excited to now be able to offer the new version of the Undress on Kickstarter and being able to build it again with your amazing support.
Yep, thank you so much.